Cartierville.
Speaker, quote, "Throughout this country, we have a very, very large infrastructure deficit on things like public transit, water, transportation, and housing. We've got to fix these things. With the federal government, I'm not confident they'll make the right decisions." Mr. Speaker, I'm quoting the mayor of Calgary, recently voted the best mayor of the world. Will the Conservative government reverse these wrong decisions, like their 87% cut in the Building Canada Fund?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Minister of Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we know that that statement is incorrect. This Conservative government has introduced the largest and the longest infrastructure investment in Canadian history, $75 billion, Mr. Speaker, over the next decade. This includes $53 billion for municipalities, provinces and territories. Mr. Speaker, our new Building Canada plan has been open for business since last March. In less than a year, numerous projects already approved, representing an estimated $5 billion in infrastructure for this country.
The Honourable Member for Saint Laurent Cartierville.
Is not wrong, and my numbers are right.
That's right.
Voici les chiffres officiels.
Here are the official figures. The budget of the Building Canada Fund was $1.6 billion in 2013-14. In 2014-15, it is $210 million. From $1.6 billion to $210 million clearly represents an 87% cutback. It is obvious. Will the government admit that it cannot deny these figures? They're the official figures of the Department of Finance. A cutback of 87% for the Building Canada Fund. The Conservatives have to admit it. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
I appreciate that the Liberals have a hard time understanding the bottom line, Mr. Speaker. Let me make clear what the bottom line is in terms of infrastructure investments in this country. If they read just a little bit lower on that page, Mr. Speaker, they will clearly see that this government will be investing between $5 and $6 billion in infrastructure investment every year, Mr. Speaker. These investments will enhance our economy, they'll create jobs, and they'll improve the quality of life for all Canadians.
The Honourable Member for Saint Laurent Cartierville. This is verbal inflation, what my colleague is saying, Mr. Speaker. The specific figures are the following. Not only was the Building Canada Fund cut by 87% in 1 year, but on top of that, the bulk of the investments in the fund will only be available after 2019. So the fund is spread $14 billion over from 2014 to 2023, of which $10.2 billion, that is 73%, is not available before 2019. Why is the government delaying 3/4 of those investments to 2019, whereas we need those investments in jobs now? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
This Conservative government will take no lessons from the Liberals on infrastructure investments in this country, Mr. Speaker. Our investments are 3 times greater for infrastructure than the previous Liberal government. So let me very clearly lay out the steps in this process, Mr. Speaker, and I'll speak slowly for my Liberal colleagues. Applications to the plan are submitted. When projects are approved, federal funds are earmarked. Then construction begins. Then the municipality submits their bill to the federal government. We reimburse the municipality as costs are incurred. Money flows over the course of the construction project, Mr. Speaker.